It is recording. I see the light. It is recording. You can't fucking trick me this time. I see the fucking light.
You're not though. That's just the.
What is that?
The power light.
That's not the power light.
It's the power light.
Then turn it off then and
Right, if I unplug it, the power light's gonna come off. Do you want to do that?
No, because it has batteries.
I'm about to go through this whole song and dance. I think we have better acoustics now that I don't have couches.
Have better what?
Or at least it sounds more reverberary in here.
Yeah.
That's because I'm closer to the wall.
That could also be the case.
That's probably couches.
I don't know, the doors also are open. So I think maybe
I had a squirrel almost come in here today. Actually, the squirrel was right there on the threshold, and I was like, and then I moved. I was like, oh fuck, there's a person in here. Ah.
Right.
I set out some almonds. I don't know if you can see them. I had a trail coming up here, and I was like, that's stupid. So I'm coming back.
Yeah.
They're magical creatures, even if they are just like rats with I don't know. Everyone's like, oh, we're fucking... Not everyone, but people say that like squirrels are just rodents with like cute furry tails.
Yeah.
But like they don't crawl through sewers.
Yeah, no, they're not.
Or
like
trash.
Rats. Yeah, they're not rats.
Like they're woodland.
They're dignified.
They're woodland folk. They're like Smurfs.
Yeah.
Except mushrooms, they live in trees.
Yeah, I think squirrels are definitely a lot better than rats.
We can get some person with like a pet rat and be like, oh no, they're so smart. They find a cheese.
Yeah.
They find a cheese no matter where you put it.
Yeah.
Can be in your butthole, can be in your ear hole, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Rats are smart.
Yeah, I have somebody on my Facebook who has like pet rats. And they're constantly like, you know how like on Facebook when you have like once you get a huge array of friends, and they're all like of different backgrounds and stuff, they'll put a meme on there that you're like, I understand memes. I know how to read memes. This is not a meme I understand. Like it'll be like a shocked face. It'll be like when your buddy comes in to the emergency response vehicle without his DW 470 on, and you're like, what?
Super inside jokes, and you're like,
super inside joke, and you're like, why are you posting that on Facebook? Like that's you message that to your friend. You don't put that on Facebook because now I gotta wonder. I gotta look that shit up. And that's how it is her. It's like when your friends that don't like rats say that what they're rats, like what? Like no, that's just for you. That's just for you.
It is a little gatekeeping kind of. Look at me, I'm a special snowflake. Yeah. Oh, you don't get it?
Right.
Fucking.
Yeah. I'm gonna post this and see how many civilians understand it. I'm sure that's the exact breathing.
Can I just do that weird breathing out, losing breath thing for the rest of the podcast?
Well, do it right now, and then hello, welcome to the Off the Border podcast with Steven and heavy breathing. That's some good points there, weird breathing. That's some really good points you're making. Oh no, don't be saying that. We want to be able to monetize eventually, and you're just going to get us kicked off. And he's slowly going out. But then he comes back.
Give me a brown paper bag. I'm hyperventilating.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you can do that through the entire podcast, then do it. It'll be a world record.
Then knock yourself out. Literally.
Ha.
I actually had a brown paper bag here the other day because I went to the liquor store and I bought
a 40
apple juice.
You went to the liquor store to buy apple juice?
And I didn't want anyone to know. He bought apple juice. What a nerd. Put it in a brown paper bag. Is that a thing? Like if you walk around with like a liquor thing, even though it's unopened, like you can get in trouble for that? Or is it just like, oh, discretion's important?
Like a bag? No.
Why do they give you like the brown paper bag? Like, oh, don't let anyone see it. You're carrying around an 18-pack of beer.
I think that's it, yeah. I think that's probably it. Maybe it's also because it's better for holding bottles.
Is it our Puritan heritage?
That's probably what it is. Well, and I mean, and there are some places where they don't want you walking around with liquor, like, period. Yeah, that's... It's actually a very good idea.
We're into real world people. We're not in some studio. We're not fancy. Yeah. We're guerrilla podcasting.
That's right. In the jungle.
We're just sitting in folding chairs in an empty apartment, essentially.
Welcome to the jungle. We do podcasts.
I have nothing to follow up. My improv skills are terrible.
Tom Petty.
Comedy. You said comedy?
I said Tom Petty.
Oh. R.I.P.
Just to piss off all the people that were like, "That's not Tom Petty."
Is it not?
That's not Tom Petty. No, Welcome to the Jungle is not Tom Petty.
It was like Chris Christopherson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everyone, all the Chris Christopherson people are like, "How dare you?"
How dare
That is their hit, Jungle.
Sacrilege.
That's their hit.
On the Chris
single.
Christopherson.
But today is Friday the 13th, and it's October too. That's a good
How
day.
spooky.
So spooky. I remember growing up.
I don't
Friday the
remember growing up.
13th
I was born a man, and I've been here ever since.
came
But
out.
carry on with your childishness.
You just stole an SNL skit. You came out of your mom's vagina a fully grown man.
I was actually thinking of the Boxcar Children. Did you ever read those? They were a Christian genre
Oh. Yeah, I do remember
young adults
those, yeah.
thing. There's one where this guy who's super Christian got knocked out in like Hawaii. And he had amnesia. He's like, I was born a man. They're like, oh my goodness, that's so.
Oh my
What a
lord.
pagan.
Oh my lord.
And
Wow.
then he's like, oh, I got knocked out. That's what happened. Oh, nope. I'm a religious guy. I remember now. Thank you, kids.
Oh, thank you for reminding me about God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Anyway,
Um,
you remember growing up.
but
I don't.
Growing up, I remember thinking that Friday the 13th. First off, I remember 13 being an actual like bad number. Like I remember growing up being like 13's the unlucky one.
My dad is super terrified of number 13.
Yeah, he's got the
Triskaidekaphobia.
Triskaidekaphobia, fear of Triscuits. Shout out to friends. Shout out to Ross. But yeah, so I remember thinking 13 was really unlucky, and then finding out that no, a lot of people actually find 13 to be lucky. Like, it's one of those that's like it's 50-50, or I don't even know if it's that. It may be less than that. But like there are people who think 13 is actually a lucky number, and some people who think it's unlucky.
Did not know that.
Yeah, like there's a lot of cultures that like 13, like in some of their myths or something, it'll be like, these are the 13 blanks. And it's like they think 13's the good number.
I thought it was another one of those things where like they're just trying to be like hipster, contrarian, like, oh, you don't like 13? I love fucking 13. 13's the fucking best. You don't like 13? Oh, fucking 13's the warrior. 13 times 4 is 52, which is the weeks in a year. Blah, 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 blah.
But then I thought Friday the 13th was always this a bad day, a spooky day. Bad things were supposed to happen.
That's when the Boogeyman.
That's when the Boogeyman, the Freddy Krueger comes out on Friday the 13th, right?
Is it? I really don't know.
It's Jason Voorhees.
Is it Jason?
It's Jason Voorhees. I'm actually a big slasher
But
fan.
Freddy Krueger's the dream guy?
Yeah, with the claw. With the claw. The claw. The claw. And he rapes babies.
And he's like, you can't tell a lie, Dad. You can't tell a lie for a whole day.
If you die in the dream, you die for real.
And you die in the video game.
You know, he didn't actually used to rape babies. That wasn't until they rebooted it.
Dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. I know what they are because of
Yeah.
like pop culture, just general
Well, in the original
surrounding stuff, but I have no idea.
in the original movie, he just killed kids,
and they're like,
or
that's,
they just disappeared.
and everyone's like, yeah, that's okay. You know what? We got to make him worse. Because killing kids, everyone wants to kill kids.
Yeah. So then in the reboot, they like made him just a straight up pedophile, and it was
Why
like,
we make
ugh.
him rape babies?
Yeah. It's like you guys didn't even have to do that too, because it was just kind of implied. It was clear that like he probably didn't just kill him. Like that'd be weird if he just went around kidnapping kids on the street just to kill him. Like he very clearly diddled them a little bit before.
I'm just quick interruption. I'm not like making any weird noises. Like, is this crinkle can gonna probably be a factor?
No. Well, if you do that, yeah. If you put it up to the microphone,
Just edit it out.
I'm not gonna edit it out. You can try to make work harder for me. I'm not gonna do it. This is just gonna be in it, and then people are gonna be like, "Wow, what a fucking asshole to be crinkling crayon right next to the fucking."
Hey, that wasn't actually a crinkling can. You know how people communicate, like with Afrikaans, clicking tongues. That's our special guest from a foreign country of an unknown land that just communicates with crinkling cans. So
what would you say is your favorite?
Way to alienate him.
What would you say is your favorite slasher movie Africans guest that we have? Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I don't really get into that stuff, but I mean, I guess. Oh, you gotta go. Oh, dude.
Oh,
no
okay.
problem, but thanks for coming.
Well, thank you so much for coming by.
I mean, what a cool guy. What a neat dude.
A totally neat guy.
Whatever, like
Totally real guy that was totally real. Totally here.
Dude, not too often you meet like really cool people.
Yeah.
This was like
you know what, Trump, let him over.
Pretty cool
They're cool
dude.
people.
Yeah.
Those foreigners.
Let's give him a visa. See what it's like over here.
But so Friday the 13th. But no, the day I always had the idea that it was something unlucky and something bad and stuff like that. And I'm sure the movies had something to do with it. And then like later I found out that like Friday the 13th can happen like 5 days out of the year. And if it's not in October, it's not even spooky. It's like, oh, it's Friday the 13th in June. Like, that doesn't fucking matter. What the fuck does June 13th matter if it's on Friday? I don't know.
My dad, he would, like, not let us do, like, oh, hey, I'm going to go to a friend's sleepover. And it was, like, Friday the 13th. He was like, no. Not going to have, like, are you fucking kidding me? What? Why not? It's like, nope. It's just not a good day. And I look at the calendar like, fuck you. Come on.
Can't hang out with Thomas just because it's the 13th. That's fucked up.
It's like all the bad things happen on that day. I'm like, okay.
And see, the thing that I was warned about was full moon.
A full moon?
When full moons occur, apparently people go crazy on the full moon.
Because the gravity's pulling on their brains. Mm-hmm. And their brains are like,
Or they're werewolves.
Maybe.
I think of all of the monsters in movies and stuff that I think would want to be real besides tentacle monsters, I think werewolf is probably the one that I want more than anything.
Is that just a metaphor for PMS? Is this like, oh, what if a dude had PMS? He'd be a werewolf. Because a full moon happens like once a month, right?
That is a very valid point.
Is it? It could be like, oh, women think they're so crazy at this time of year. Well, what if a man had that happen to him?
Yeah, I don't know. That's probably what it is. It's probably like an ancient thing where they're just like, women are like, "Hey, we have this thing down below," and then the men are like, "Yeah, well, we turn into giant furry creatures and
you think that's
eat
bad.
People." Yeah.
You should see, but we won't show you. But if it happens, don't say we didn't warn you.
My question about werewolves is, how did people kill them before they came up with silver bullets? Because like vampires, they have stakes. You know, stakes to the heart. They have garlic, which I don't think garlic kills them. I think they don't like garlic.
Good question.
Crosses and stuff. And really, even like a stake to the heart, it's just anything pointy. Like in every movie, it's like I've seen like somebody take a crucifix and like break it off of something and it has a sharp end, then they jam it in Dracula. And it's like, that wasn't a stake. It wasn't a specific piece of wood that was made at a pointy end. It was just a broken thing that they just did up there.
I mean, can't anything really, if you like try hard enough, be a stake?
Yeah.
Like if you're like making a tent, you'd be like, let me just stick this thing in the ground really hard.
Yeah.
So like,
well, like a spoon.
A stake.
What if you took a spoon and then he put it at the end, like you tape it to the end of a piece of wood, and then you jam it just really hard into Dracula, and it happens to stab him? Is that a stake?
I think Dracula is just like a normal dude with like some sort of defect. And they're like, oh, if you stab a stake through his heart, like that happens with anyone.
Like an albino? Like Dracula's
but like they don't get
albino?
it. They're just kind of like, just drive a stake through his heart. Like, yeah, but if you drive a stake through anybody's heart, it's not going to be great.
It's not good, no.
So, I mean, what's Dracula's whole thing was like, oh, I sleep in a coffin. Maybe he's just like likes to be cozy.
Well, Dracula's thing was that he would suck the blood out of his people.
Yeah, but maybe he was just like, pretty hungry and he didn't really know much else. What if he was just, kind of like on the spectrum? Didn't know it was bad. Didn't have any social cues. He also couldn't travel over water. That's another thing.
He couldn't travel over water?
Couldn't travel over water.
I didn't know that.
That was in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
That's interesting.
I don't really remember how they killed him.
In Bram Stoker's?
Yeah, I think he actually did drive a stake through his heart.
Yeah, I think so. I think Van Helsing did it.
Van Helsing? Hugh Jackman was in the book. He did it. It was all like, stabby, stabby, stab.
Man, do you remember that movie, Van Helsing? Did you ever watch that one?
I watched it a little bit with Van Helsing, with Hugh Jackman, and was it Kate Beckinsale in that movie?
I think it was Kate Beckinsale.
Or am I just doing the whole underworld and transposing that?
No, I think it was her.
She was in the movie.
I don't care enough to look it up. Because it wasn't that good of a movie.
And it was written by Mel Brooks, starring Gene Wilder
that is
and Peter
Young
Boyle.
Frankenstein. I was actually just watching that movie. It's like a Frankenstein old movie.
Marty
slasher
Feldman
movie,
with the crazy eyes. What are you talking about? I'm not talking about Van Helsing, dude.
No, I know. No, but I was saying I was watching Young
Right, and they play that song in Van Helsing that attracts the monster.
You are... I'm fine with you doing this to other movies, but not Young Frankenstein, man. That's a classic.
In Van Helsing, and Hugh Jackman gets Frankenstein's wiener at the end, and Frankenstein actually rapes a woman, and you're like, ha ha ha, it's so funny.
What?
You don't remember that in Young Frankenstein?
No.
Frankenstein totally rapes the dude's wife, and she's like, this is great.
Gee, I didn't.
It's like a whole joke.
I guess I haven't gotten that part. Because I was watching it, but then I stopped after a certain point just because I got busy.
Oh. Spoiler alert.
But yeah, no, that Van Helsing movie, it was definitely a movie of its time. It was done by the same guy that did The Mummy. And it's funny because I was actually watching it like it was on TV, and I was watching it for just like a couple minutes, and I realized I was like, yeah, it's very Mummy. It's very Mummy-ish. It's got like the same scenes. They even do that thing where they start the movie out by going back in time, and they show how Frankenstein was created, and then Dracula comes in, and you realize he's the villain and stuff. And then they go back to the present time, and it's Van Helsing being Hugh Jackman and X-Men-ish.
Hugh Jackman.
But yeah.
He's all like, Dracula's like, I'll get you, prisoner 24601. And Hugh Jackman's like, and his claws come out. He's like, not today.
Not today. And then he starts singing opera about being poor in France in 1830.
Dude, you nailed it. That's
there you go.
Van
That's
Helsing.
the entire Van Helsing
We totally
movie.
did Van Helsing right now. If you want to, pay for it, don't, because I feel like this audio
that's
retelling,
not even like what we said is a better movie than the Van Helsing movie. So even if you are interested in how it actually goes out, don't pay for it.
You'll just be disappointed. You'll be severely disappointed.
Just go into any movie rental store or buying store and say, can I get Van Helsing? And they'll just give it to you for free.
You may be so depressed that you may take your own life after watching it, after hearing this.
It's very possible.
So don't do that. Do not.
Speaking of bad movies, have you seen the commercials for Geostorm?
No. What?
What's
Geostorm?
It's like a bad movie.
I don't get it.
I really can't even say what the plot is.
Is it just a regular storm? Because every storm is a geostorm. Every storm is a storm that happens on Earth.
So apparently, people of Earth have been able to create some kind of satellite thing that controls the weather, so that they have good weather everywhere.
I've seen it, but I didn't know it was for a movie. I saw like the first 5 seconds where they launched like a bunch of like capsules.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, they finally discovered how to control the weather or something. But I thought it was like some sort of bullshit like futurist posting.
Yeah,
like, how like they always like, it's
eventually
scientists have developed a device that can puncture an aluminum surface and enter the contents. Are you talking about a fucking can opener? Like they always like put it to this hyperbolic language. Yeah, and I thought it was one of those things. Like
no, it's a movie. It's got Gerald Butler.
Oh,
but basically, it's like so the satellite thing can manipulate the weather, and they've been doing it so that places that have droughts can get water, and places that get too much water get droughts and shit like that. Tornadoes don't exist anymore. Well, then like somebody takes it over, or somebody uses it to like start wiping cities off the planet.
That always happens when people create weather controlling devices.
Yeah,
I mean, pretty cliche.
But it just looks stupid. It looks like your basic like adventure kind of action. Like 2012. It just looks like that. It's like we need to stop the world from ending from this catastrophe. And it's like, how are we doing it? How are we going to do it? And who's doing it? I don't know, but it's got to be someone up high. Maybe the president. And it's like, all right. It's going to turn out to be China or Russia, because that's what all those movies turn out to be.
I guess. Well, like now, movies are trying to... They have like some weird laws where you can't show your movie in China unless something, or like 40% of it is shot in China.
Yeah.
Which is why the Transformers movies, like the last II especially,
Mhm.
were really fucking like, what's going on and why are they all of a sudden speaking Chinese or something?
Yeah.
So probably not China, but they'll probably be like, North Korea.
Yeah, no,
that's a place that they don't show our movies.
I found out. I watched an interesting little video that was about that actually. That China loves Western movies, but because the government is so particular about what their people see, they'll only let certain movies pass, and that's exactly the case. Either the movie has to be made in China, or they have to favor China in the movie and like make them the heroes. Like, did you ever see The Martian with Matt Damon?
I did.
You remember at the end of it, Matt Damon was like, "I'm stuck here," and then they're like, "We don't have a rocket ship to get to you."
Right.
And then China came and was like, "We'll do it." Like that could have been any fucking country. Or we could have just had an extra rocket.
Was that in the book though? Do you read the book?
I don't know if it was in the. I didn't read the book.
I did feel like it was like kind of like very heavy, like, oh, China is a hero too.
Yeah,
but that's probably not Chinese accent, but
like
whatever.
But like even the company was like, they were like, oh, not only are you going to, we'll give you the rocket ship, but we want our name plastered on the side of it, and we want everyone to know that it was us, the Chinese, and our Chinese company that went up and saved that guy. And then America was just like, yeah, cool, no problem. Like they were just like, sure. And so at the end of the movie, it's like, hey, the Chinese saved Matt Damon, and it's like, in The Martian in China did amazingly well.
Yeah.
So it's like. They also love the Titanic.
Really?
They love the Titanic actually a bit too much.
Okay, keep going.
I read a story that some guy in China was trying to create a theme park where you are on the Titanic. And it even sinks. Like it even like you go through the process of what like would happen on the sink. So you're like in part of the ship, and then the water starts coming in, and you have to escape and get to a lifeboat.
That's so weird. I'm sure you've seen like the postings where like they have like the moon jump. That's the Titanic sinking. Like the kids like they crawl up the moon jump and they slide down the Titanic sinking.
Oh yeah.
Which is like weird because like when that happened, like that was a national tragedy.
Oh yeah, people
died. Like their 9/11.
A lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people died.
They were like, "Wee, I'm Leonardo."
Yeah, because it was a boat full of white people, so they were especially like, oh shit.
You know, it's a weird movie that. I don't know if you heard this, that for some reason, like the Middle East, like the Taliban, all the terrorist groups really like Star Wars.
Really? They like Star Wars?
Because it's about a farm boy that goes up against this evil empire and destroys them, blows them up.
Interesting.
Fucking crazy.
You know what? There is like a Turkish Star Wars.
Is there?
So that would make there's like there's a lot of like Turkish ripoffs of a lot of movies, and one that they did that was probably the most popular one is Turkish Star Wars.
Those Turks,
which looks horrible. By the way, I just want to say I want to go back to that last time I said where it's a boat full of white people. The reason I said that was because it was 1910 and that was all people cared about.
And they were coming from England.
There was another boat that was filled with Irish people that drowned, and nobody gave a shit, even though it was more people than died on the Titanic.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but nobody gave a shit about them because they weren't a bunch of rich white people. So I just want to justify that.
There was 3 ships, right? There was the Titanic, the Olympus, and the Britannica.
Yeah, the Britannica. I think the Britannica was the one with the Irishmen.
I think they all sank.
Yeah, they were all like ocean liners.
Although the Britannica, like I think it sunk a German ship.
Yeah,
the
Britannica. Yeah, the Britannica sunk because of German U-boat, and then the other one kind of sunk. Whatever.
Dude, we're like that podcast. What's the one where they talk about like Genghis Khan and all the super historical stuff?
Joe Rogan.
No, but he talks about it a lot.
I don't know.
We are exactly like that. We are
exactly
on par
like that
with
a named podcast.
Hardcore history. We are hardcore history right now.
I'd be down for that too.
We should be on the NP and R.
There was a lady that was on all three of those ships.
Why is she not on our show? Hey, lady.
Probably because she's dead, I think.
What's up, you dumb bitch? Why don't you get with the times and come on this podcast?
Come over here and tell us about how you were on the Titanic, Britannica, and the Olympus.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the podcast.
No. I was talking about, I said there was a lady that was on 3 ships, not shows. 3 ships.
So dumb bitch.
She was on the.
I am so sorry. R.I.P. R.I.P. You swell.
You swell gal.
Person.
Yes, swell
Unless she
gal.
was like, hey, fuck you guys, I'm getting off this ship. And then she's like again, hey, fuck you guys, I'm getting off this ship. And that's just like her thing to do.
Is just keep on getting on
Like,
ships.
like
I think after the 3rd one, I think they actually revoked her traveling on ships.
she was like the kind of
Like
lady.
she got a job on sea or on land, and they were like, yeah, stay there.
Stay there.
You can't fucking be on any more of these ships.
Wait for them to intervent. I can't say words now. Intervention, invention. That's the word I was going for. Anyway, I don't want to continue with that train of thought because I said invention very incorrectly.
But did you ever hear about the weird coincidence of the story of the Titanic with a book that was written?
Yes.
Was that a real yes, or are you?
I've heard of it.
Yes? It was.
Say no more.
It's really.
I already know.
Yeah, but the people listening may not.
They know too.
Remember, this isn't a conversation between me and you. It's a conversation between me
you
and
guys.
4 other
We all
people.
get it. No, I've never heard of it actually.
This guy wrote a book about the HMS Titan. And the book came out 20 years before the Titanic sank, and it was a ship that was actually bigger than the Titanic, but had roughly the same amount of people, but the same thing happened. It was traveling the Atlantic, it hit an iceberg, it sank, most of the people died because they didn't have enough lifeboats and life vests and stuff. And then the story goes on with like 2 people who survive, and they go off into the North Pole and they make friends with polar bears and shit. It gets weird afterwards. But the point is that this guy writes a book about a giant ship sinking for those exact reasons.
So
and then 12 years later,
really well.
the Titanic happens. And it was just one of those like weird things where they were like, oh fuck, like here's some weird coincidences on this shit. There was actually an old computer game that I used to play that allowed you to be on the Titanic and try to get to stop sinking. Oh. Essentially. But like there was a part when you're in like your hotel, and one of the books you have is that book. And it was kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
How fucking Nostradamus.
Very Nostradamus.
Wow.
I kind of feel like
my mind is blown. I can't function. Don't talk to me right now. Hold on.
Okay. This is an audio podcast. We have to talk. I can't just have you fucking stare off.
Intermission, everyone. Go get your popcorn. You should be singing some like classical music. Maybe like a nice Baroque piece. So they know it's intermission. So a book on the Titanic. That's crazy.
Yeah,
wow.
It's really crazy.
Wow, how neat.
The book on the Titan, not the Titanic.
Right, but it was on the video game on the Titanic. It was physically on the Titanic.
Yeah, no, that game was actually really crazy because it was like, so you like for whatever reason ended up back in time on the Titanic, and you had to try to stop the sinking from happening, but there was a bunch of other stuff. So like the perfect ending of the game, you were able to stop both world wars, the Titanic from sinking, as well as like another catastrophe from happening.
I like how we like you could just like kind of like glaze over the reason for why it happened. Like, for some reason, I don't know. You didn't pay your bills, or you stopped to sneeze and you went back in time.
The reason I say that is because from what I can remember, what happens is you're in like modern day, or maybe like I don't know, it might have been like 60s or 70s. You're just hanging out in your apartment, and then all of a sudden, oh no, you're in the 40s.
Microwave is running.
No, you're in the 40s. And you're hanging out in your apartment, and it's the Battle of Britain. So there's like bombing going on, and you're just in your apartment going, "Oh fuck, there's some crazy shit going on." And then a plane comes like through your window and like blows up, but then you end up on the Titanic. Like that's why I said you just end up in the future or in the past, because how you get there doesn't fucking make any sense. It's like a Luftwaffe hits you into the past for whatever fucking reason, and you end up on the Titanic. Like, it didn't make any sense. This was before they felt like they had to make any sense in video games.
That's still a reason.
It's barely a reason. It's not a reason. It's what happens, but it's not a very good one.
Yeah.
But so basically,
I can get down with that. I can suspend disbelief if we're like, all right, that's what's happening.
While you're on the Titanic, there's a guy who's trying to sell a painting by Adolf Hitler. because he was a failed artist, right? So he's trying to sell a picture of Adolf Hitler, but inside the painting are the plans to kill the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, which is what started World War One. So if you get someone to buy the painting, Hitler feels like he's a painter, so he doesn't try to start World War II, and then also it stops the plans from getting to where they need to start World War One. So you're able to end both wars, and then you convince the captain to move the ship in time of the iceberg, and then you save everyone. It was a very weird game, and I remember as a kid I didn't get that far, but like I looked it up later and I was like, that's fucking weird.
That is weird.
Because I was very curious about it. One of those things like I always had, but I could never do it because I was too dumb at the time. I was just clicking on keyboards going da 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 da.
Shit. If you could go back in time and give baby Hitler a binky, would you?
Only if it was a dreidel.
I don't know if they had dreidel binkies back then.
Of course they did. You just take a binky and you put a dreidel on it.
Did they have binkies back then even?
Yeah,
That might just change the course of everything if you went back with the binky. Didn't matter who you gave it to.
Right, they're like, what the hell are you putting in my baby's mouth?
Could have given to baby, anything that was born then. I don't know my people, my history that well. Baby Mel Brooks.
Baby Mel Brooks.
Give it to baby Mel Brooks.
Would you kill baby Hitler? You can go back in time.
He may have been a really cute baby. Let's be honest. Some babies are just adorable.
He could have been.
And I don't know.
I don't know what killing baby Hitler would do. I always found those questions dumb. It's like I get like hypotheticals and just like, oh, we're just shooting the shit though. But like,
I could totally kill like a teenage Hitler because he'd probably be like such an obnoxious piece of shit.
Oh, he's probably huge enough.
Probably be like, I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? Or like, oh, go, I fucking hate you. I'm going to my room.
Oh yeah, he was
to my iPod on blast and blow my eardrums out.
He was a pretentious one-nutted asshole the entire time.
I could probably kill that Hitler, but a baby Hitler, that's probably like, oh, what a precious gift from God. You know.
It's still just a baby.
Had he been baptized yet or no? That's the question about baby
He would have
Hitler.
been baptized. His parents were very religious. His mother was very
He would have
religious.
gone to heaven. He would have gone to heaven then, right? Because apparently unbaptized babies go to like purgatory or something.
Yeah. Well, if they're Catholic.
Was he Catholic?
No, he wouldn't be Catholic. I don't think Austrians were Catholic at the time. I think it would have been like...
some sort of Protestant thing?
Probably Protestant. I think it was Protestant. Catholic was more of a Eastern European. And
I don't know, because like if I could time travel, that would change a lot of things about my perspective on stuff. So... I would kill somebody. I don't know who.
Yeah.
But if it's like time travel, I'm like, I get away with it. No one's going to catch me. I'd be like, hey, can I get, if someone was really rude to me? That's the only thing that's keeping me back is accountability for murdering someone.
I wouldn't
Ooh,
want...
I sound really bad. I don't really mean this to people. Y'all know I'm joking.
He's not. He's being completely serious.
I'm not joking.
He's 100% serious.
I'm on a polygraph right now.
No,
the needle's not jumping.
I wouldn't go back and kill baby Hitler because I like Call of Duty too much. And there's just so many good Call of Duties.
But the Japanese were still pretty, like, douchey.
Yeah. But we don't make Japanese games. Like, there's, like, one Call of Duty. Call of Duty has, like, how many games do they have that's in World War II? Like, what? Like
World at War?
Like 5?
And
World at War, the 4 before that, because you had 1, Big Red 1, 2, 3.
Those were, like, all in Japan, right?
No. World at War is the only one that was in Japan.
There's Medal of Honor games, but
nobody fucking plays those games. That's why I bring up Call of Duty. But that was what I always thought was funny about World War II. Is like, why do we always beat up on the Germans? We were fucking fighting other people too.
Yeah, it was like the Japanese were like, okay, we get it. Well, stop.
Right.
And the Germans were like, we get it.
Yeah. No, the Germans are like, no, we get it. Like, we understand. Go ahead and we deserve this one. Make us the enemy of all time. Make Nazis the ultimate enemy to anybody ever. Like Star Wars. They could have gone with any other group of people, but they went with Nazis basically. Yeah. They went with space Nazis.
I mean, we fucked the shit out of Dresden. which is a German city. But like the Japanese, we had to do it like twice.
Yeah, we had to do it twice.
With like
we had to do it hard.
Cutting edge technology.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is the future.
And now they're coming up with Hello Kitty and hentai. So
that is so funny. That's so weird.
Hello Kitty?
That is what they are now.
Yeah. I mean, technologically, they're fucking amazing. I was just watching a video with they made some fucking Japanese kid, of course, as it always is, made some kind of new robot suit, like an ecto suit, but doesn't run on electricity at all. It's like all moving parts and shit. It's basically stilts.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And shit.
It's a giant puppet.
But it's still fucking like an ecto suit.
I guess all like hydraulics and pulleys.
Oh, dude,
levers.
the fucking the giant robot fight's finally happening.
Oh yeah.
Have you been paying attention about that?
I saw it like I guess a year or two ago.
Yeah.
That they were going to do it, and I was like, oh, Japan's going to win.
So for anybody listening that doesn't know, Japan and America, like was it like college groups?
Is it going to be like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, though, where it's like, this is all you can do?
No, I think it's going to be
to the death.
I think it'll be like BattleBots. Do you remember the BattleBots show?
Yeah.
I think it'll be like that. It will be like the first one to get destroyed. And that's the thing. I'm actually going to have to look up because I know at first they said that they were going to use like whatever they could, like live rounds. Because like both of these giant robots. So to go back, basically a group of robot makers in America and a group of robot makers in Japan made like a battle robot and was like, how cool would it be if we could fight them? So then they kickstarted it and was like, let's make this thing like a pay-per-view, and it's going to be on, I think, Twitch. And they're going to show this giant fight between these robots. When I first heard that they were making the rules, they were saying that they were both going to be allowed to make like live ammunition. So like one of them was able to fire napalm, basically like a flamethrower, and the other one could use a fucking minigun, right?
I'm prepared to be disappointed. I kind of want to see hemoglobin and transmission fluid
kind of go off.
Kind of mixed together, but okay.
When I think that they were going to say...
see someone die on the internet.
It was going to be two robots fighting to the death to whichever one could not do it, like could not continue going. But then they were like, we kind of put a lot of money into this thing. So I think they came up with it won't fire live ammunition, it will fire like pellets. Like basically paintballs or like the stuff that police officers use and shit.
But what happens
I can't remember the rules now.
When the aliens send dinosaurs through the portal and Idris Elba doesn't have any robots to protect us, what happens then? What happens then?
Then the Sons of Anarchy come and ride their bikes, the bicycletas,
to Philadelphia, to where it's always sunny in Philadelphia. And Charlie's like, I'm a science dinosaur guy.
And then Trash Man comes.
And he's like, I'll get you, Mega Man.
Come on, dinosaurs. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited for it. If you have to pay to watch it, I'm not going to. I'll just wait till it happens and then watch it later. But yeah. I'm pretty excited for it because I think.
To watch. Why can't they just do fucking commercials? Or like
well, the
ads
thing is,
I don't
know if you do. I know you watch on Twitch, but if you have to pay like to see it on Twitch, I'm not going to do it. But if you can just sign up and do it, then I'll fucking sign up. Because I'm totally down to see a fucking giant robot fight.
Yeah,
I'm totally down for that. I've been wanting that to happen for a while.
What if they do that stupid trick though that Japan is famous for, where they just put a person in a robot suit, just a regular size robot suit, and they make the surroundings his size, and they just add special effects like they do for Godzilla and Power Rangers. We don't even know. We don't even know because we're dummies.
I'd be kind of upset over that.
But we wouldn't even know.
It's fucking Japan.
And we wouldn't even know.
They have panties and vending machines. They don't fucking know anything.
Don't you feel like that could be popular here, though? We're not popular, but like profitable.
Would people do it? Yes.
Would it be like that's
you know
what that happens?
You know what? I'm gonna say no because I think comparatively, I think Japan is much more perverted than America. And I know it seems like we are, but I think Japan has much more of a perversion problem. So I think that's why shit like that gets by.
I can get that.
I think there's too many religious people in this country still.
They have more of like a button down, very tight, like got to be professional, and they're like, oh man.
Well, and it's like do it in your own. It's like you want to sniff panties that you stole from somebody's room. That's fine, but you do that shit in your room. You can't fucking go like, oh, I am on my way to Subway. Let me get my panties in the vending machine before I go. Like, can't do that.
That's crazy, dude. That is so crazy.
So that's why a lot of groping on trains over there, and there's not groping on trains over here. People just get they just get peed on.
Unless you're on a train with Harvey Weinstein, am I right?
Oh my gosh, that's so topical. You made such a topical
Current
joke
events.
because of Harvey Weinstein.
Current events.
Yeah, fuck him. He's a cunt.
Hey, I think he's just a poor soul that's lost in the world that needs a chance.
Well, what was that word I came up with a couple podcasts ago? It was cunt. It was cooch.
Punt.
Cooch? No.
Bunt.
It was like what I felt like what the southern cunt is. It was a
Blunt.
shit. I'm gonna remember it. Anyway, he's that.
Hey, how long do you have to hang around?
Oh yeah.
You gotta go?
Yeah, sure.
Because I gotta pee.
Well then let's end the podcast.
Okay, I'm gonna take this into me. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in my butt and I'm gonna go poop it out in the restroom.
Thank you guys so much for listening to the Off the Board podcast. It's been Steven.
Very personal here. It's been. Can I do a fake name?
Sure.
It's been.
You do it every week.
Believin'.
So Steven and Believin'. Mark left halfway through the podcast with the African guest that we had on, and Believin' came in.
Wait, I think he's coming back for some reason.
Oh no, he's not.
Nope.
He isn't. He's too far away.
No, my beer can is way over there.
Nope, not it. Yep. Well.
Oh, I'm sorry. My cream soda.
There you go. And
Do you have friends that are like toddlers that listen to this?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you guys. Fucking. Oh, sorry. Totally.
I'm drinking my beer. Oh wait, do you have like little kids that listen to this? Well, fuck me. I was just drinking juice, my apple juice that I had gotten from the liquor store. I mean the apple juice store.
I experienced the world God intended it.
Thank you so much for listening.
Clean lens.
Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter.
Or not.
Off
Whatever.
Board
Fuck you
Podcast.
guys.
And thank you guys so much for listening.
No,
and have a great
follow
one.
us. Yeah.
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye.
Yo voy a cantar esta canción para mi gente.